Finishing the Vanquish build today. Gonna go drive it this afternoon. Hopefully to the RC land. Maybe just go to the creek at my granny's house. We're gonna see, but right now the next step wants us to do is go ahead and paint our body. We got the body here. I don't really know what color as of this moment, but I'm gonna figure out in a couple seconds. Go ahead and get this body painted, the two little bed sides and the dash piece in the inside, because it really can't move forward until we do so. I mean, technically we could, but if you look in the instruction manual, it's kind of the next step is going to be the body, and then we move on to these chassis pieces on this side. So I'm just going to go ahead and paint the body, go ahead and get this stuff knocked out and do a cool color. Not quite sure yet, but we're going to figure something out right now. So for our paint options, we have just a little bit of paint. I don't have too much, but I got a bunch of blue pearl, got some candy apple red, some regular red pearl back there, silver pearl, regular white pearl, white. There's a bunch of just black backers. I think there's a high gloss black and ultimate backer back there as well, and just some Tamiya black. So I don't have that much options, but we're gonna come up with something cool. Not quite sure yet. I wanted to do white, maybe match the F450, but then again I don't, because it's white and that's white, and then the Raptor's white, and then the other Jeep's white. Kind of want to do blue, kind of want to do red, but I'm not really a red guy, so I have no idea. There's so many options here. I really just don't know what to do. I mean, the blue is cool. We can do blue. We can maybe do blue. I don't know. Red? I'll figure it out. First off, we got a little special sauce. We're about to spray on this bad boy. Sure, we got some nice even coverage everywhere. We didn't go too hard on any spots. I think we'll be all right. This corner is a little lacking though. I think we're ready to follow up with our main coat. And this blue pearl right here. Or just candy really, just translucent. It's gonna go over the top. Let's begin our first coat. These cans are really good. They got a nice spray pattern. Really like them. Just a nice light first coat going over top. Same with this one. I'll proceed to the body itself. I think what I want to do is spice it up a little bit more. We're going to throw some other additional blue pearl on top, just give it kind of a blue sparkle effect in a way. Once we have this first coat down, that way it doesn't cover all the way through, we're just going to go over top of this pretty aggressively. With this guy. Coming along pretty nice. Yeah, I think we did just the right amount. Then the rest of it, just kind of like make sure I get all my edges first and then fill in and kind of make sure everything blends together. It's not that bad with like normal colors, but with these pearls and the really translucent colors, you got to worry about your even coverage or else it won't match. And you'll just have some streaks and stuff, so you really don't want that. I'm not sure how I'm going to back this yet. I don't know if I'm going to do black or silver. I really probably not going to do white because it's going to make the blue really bright, and I kind of don't want that. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish this, and then I'll see you guys when it's done. Okay, so this stuff has turned into like a 7-stage pearl almost. I don't know if you guys can see. This doesn't do justice right now. It's still got the mask on top of it. But this stuff looks phenomenal. It's crazy pearly. It looks really good. I kind of got excited and I peeled a piece off the top. You you guys can kind of get an idea of what we're working with. If I can grab the body. Just look at that. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Wow! That is crazy, dude. Kind of did something else with this, and I realized I didn't really like it that much because the black speckled and came through, and I hated it. So luckily it's just a little toolbox piece, but everything else looks fine. It was quite a disaster to try to get this paint on there. Like I said, it's like 7 stages. It's just multiples. I really needed a silver. This blue, that shows you how translucent it is. It's really translucent. So yeah, I really needed like a blue backer, just like a normal blue that wasn't translucent, or a silver or something. The silver would have added more flake to it, and it kind of made it like a baby blue, washed it out, instead with the white. So I kind of put white and black together, made a gray. I think it turned out pretty freaking good. I'm really excited to see what it looks like once it's all dry. Come back, get all this mounted up once it's dry, and kind of just go from there. So we're gonna go eat lunch, and we'll come back. All right, back eye is all laid out. You have a ton of little pieces everywhere. There's a ton of these little screws. Got some cool stuff over here. Looks like a grill and a steering wheel, some windshield wipers, door handles. Just some awesome parts right here. Let's go ahead and get these on the car. I'd highly recommend taking your time with this, taking that little X-Acto blade and just going over everything very thoroughly, making sure you don't cut any of the pieces. These pieces are very tiny, very fragile, and you can definitely easily screw one up. It's not that hard to do. I didn't do it, thankfully, but I could see it happening. So just use caution, be careful, have patience, and just take your time with cutting all these off the little templates. Right now, we're going to start with back eye. This is going to be assembling the back bedsides and chassis pieces. So let's go ahead and dive into this now. First off, what it wants us to do is grab our 2 light buckets for the rear of the truck, and it wants us to go ahead and put the little pieces in. They're going to hold light bulbs if we're putting bulbs in there. I'm not putting any in right now because I don't have any. You're going to take one of these, and it's going to be a bulb holder. Once the bulb's through there, you take this, put it over the back side, and you're going to put these 2 little screws in that'll hold the bulb. I'm just going to go ahead and install these with the 1/64 1/4" screws, so that way they don't fall out and I have them. So you take your smallest screw right here. It's going to be a 1.5. Just very gentle with these. Probably shouldn't be using a drill, but so much faster. That's it, because you're not really trying to hold anything but a bulb. Once you have to use these 2 guys assembled, they'll look just like this. 2 little screws and a light bulb in here if you chose to use a light bulb. Now it wants us to grab this guy right here, and this is going to connect our 2 bedsides together. So what we're going to do here is connect our first bedside, which will be the passenger side. And when you go to put this together, you're going to notice this is flat on one end and it's rounded on the other. You're going to line that up with the flat piece and the rounded end on this. So you're going to connect that just like this, where the 2 flat pieces are together and the 2 round pieces are together. Then we're going to take and use one of our screws, the M3 by 15. You're going to need 5 of those. So you'll start that through there, and that's a 2mm. And you'll start that in there until it gets lined up. Then you probably want to follow back behind and make sure you snug that if you're using a drill. There you go. This is all lined up, and now you can proceed to do the rest of it. So it wants us to take this little X brace right here. It's going to be like a spare tire holder, I'm assuming. And you're going to go ahead and connect this. How this is going to work is this top bar is going to connect here, and the bottom one's going to connect right there. And you're going to put 2 more of those screws you just put in to the first part into these. After you get these 2 connected and this piece is on there very snug, you're going to proceed to take this flat piece. And it looks like it wants this piece to be pointed down, so the flat piece should go up towards the sky or the top of the truck. And you're going to do the same thing right at these 2 holes. These 2 are going to go line up into there, just like that, and you're going to put 2 more screws through it. Once you have those 2 through, now it wants us to grab one of our light buckets, whichever one is appropriate for that side, which is going to be this guy. So you have the outside that you didn't put those 2 in and pointing towards the outside. You're just going to take this and set it on the side, lined up with these 2, just like that. And I want you to use 2 of the M2 by 10s. So it's going to be 2 of these little small guys. I'm going to start this through the one side, just like this. And then you're going to line that up and go ahead and run this through and tighten it up. Now of all of these, just be very careful if you're using a drill. Kind of watch right here when the plastic comes to meet together and then immediately stop it. These will strip out really easily. Now once the side is together, you have 1 screw in the top for this piece. You have 2 screws in the top for the center brace. You have 2 screws in here for the light bracket, with this pointing towards the outside. Then you have the slat piece pointing upward, and you have this bolted in with 2 of those M3x15s as well. You're going to repeat the exact same process on the other side and get it all looking the same. Alright, now that you've completed this, every side should look identical, exactly the same. Something to note here is I would go ahead and bolt these 2 on first. I didn't notice that till I did it, but if you notice, once you go ahead and bolt this side up, if you don't have this guy on here, your drill isn't really going to fit. If you have a regular nut driver, it'll definitely fit through one of these holes somehow. You could either do it like this at a slight angle, or I'm sure you go through the bottom. Yeah, you go through the bottom just like that, but I'd go ahead and assemble these to the side panels before you assemble all of this stuff to the centerpiece. We have our chassis exoskeleton, whatever you'd like to call it. What it's wanting us to do is connect these guys right here, so we can mount the body panels to these. These are just going to open like this and slide over top of these rails. You have a few different ones. It looks like they want the 2 smallest ones towards the back right here, and all the bigger ones pointing up. So it looks like they want this piece pointing toward the ground almost. So for instance, this one, you're going to take, split open, slide over top of, and you're going to leave just like that, and the skinny side up, just like that. Tricky to get, they're quite tiny. Just like that, they'll snap on, and now you can go ahead and proceed to put your bedsides on. All right, so for this step, you got your 2 bedsides. I went ahead and peeled this off. Just look at the paint. It looks phenomenal. I'm really happy with it. I wish I wouldn't have peeled the mask off. I would recommend just leaving the mask on as I did on this side. I just peeled off what I had to so I can get to these bolts. That way you don't scratch this or anything trying to assemble it. It's completely up to you. I'm just really kind of weird in particular, even though I peeled this one all off. Whatever, I wasn't thinking. But nonetheless, we're going to go ahead and take this guy. Like I said, I peeled all this off so I can get it on here. You're going to want these guys pointing straight up like we were talking about, with the thick part pointing down. Make sure you untape your little tail light piece. But first off, we're going to go ahead and make sure all these are straight. We're going to slide this piece directly over top, just like this. You can really only go one way, so you can't really mess it up. And then you go ahead and line these up to those holes. And what they want you to do is take some of your M2.5x10s. It's going to be these little guys. And they want you to put 2 right here through the top, just like this once you line those up, and then 1 through the bottom. That'll be your last 3 of these. It's a 1.5. Slide this guy until he lines up with the hole. Once you get him to line up with the hole, hold them together. Take one of these screws, set it right in the top. You can go and twist it a little bit, get it started, and then you're good to go ahead and tighten it down. Doesn't have to be stupid tight. It can be just barely tight. Also, to take note, wherever you tighten it, like if you tighten this thing, these turn down like this, it's going to take and pull the bedside in because it's really flimsy. So you make sure you want to keep them straight, so just everything is laying across there perfectly straight across the top. Go ahead and take one of these, bolt it right here on the back. I would like you to take these little silver screws again. You're going to need 4 of them, followed by your little tail light bucket. And you're going to go ahead and make sure this is lined up on the inside. And then you'll go ahead and take this guy and set him right there. Take one of these screws, put it through the top. Make sure you line it up, and then you proceed to tighten it up. Once you get all these 4 screws in, like I said, just snug. They don't have to be really tight because you're just going into plastic and you're not really holding anything. You're just holding this little plastic piece in. You just don't want them to fall out. You got all your mask peeled off, and you should be all good to go, and then you can proceed to follow the exact same steps on this other side. All right, so next, moving on to bag 34, what it would like us to do is assemble our bed to our cab. Once you have all this done, like I said, you just repeat the same steps on each side for this to get it all put together. Your final product is going to look something like this. All your screws are in, bottom as well. This hole, I believe, wasn't cut completely right because it made it a little sideways. I mean, that's fine. So next what we're doing is taking our cab, setting it right here, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4 screws in the back right here. It wants us to go ahead and utilize 3. We're going to leave this inside open For those 3, it wants us to use these M3x15s, the aggressive screw. And we're going to go ahead and set this up just like this. Make sure you have all your film peeled off the truck. If you're like me and you kept it on, if you peeled it all off already, that's awesome. You don't have to worry about it. And go ahead and set this in here, and you're going to have to line this guy up. Go through the cab, through the bedside, and then into your roll cage. And then once you get that lined up, you just have to thread this in. It's really a nightmare to line up. It's not the easiest at all. It took me a good couple minutes. Once you get it, you'll be fine. The first one's going to be the hardest, of course, and then you can go ahead and proceed to connect all the other ones. It's just going to be 3 here and 3 here, just as the manual says, these M3x15s. Okay, once you get the bed mounted to the truck, you will have the fully assembled cab and bed piece. You're gonna, again, put these M3x15s through the back side of here, and everything should go smoothly. It's really difficult to get it started, as you guys saw. Once you get one started, the rest just fall into place. Just make sure when you're grabbing this, you don't grab the whole piece. Grab the bed side, or grab the chassis like brace and the bed itself. That way you can maneuver that, and you're not just pulling everything back and forth. Now moving on to our next step, it would like us to insert the cab interior into it. It's just like this. Into here, and then that's where you didn't put these 2 screws in right here. You're gonna go ahead and put those in now, followed by these 2, which I believe would be some door handles of some such to help hold this in. I'm not doing any of that right now. I'm kind of skipping this because, as you see, I haven't painted this. Really want to do some brown seats, and I don't have brown paint right now, so I'm waiting on that to come in, and then I'll go ahead and finish this up. It's really not that big a deal. Everything else can be finished. But I'll go ahead and walk through kind of what you'll be doing to assemble this in the truck if you guys are curious. The inside right here, we have these 2 holes, and it's going to come together. You're going to take one of your door handles. It's little, just exactly what it is, door handle piece. And then 2 of these guys have the little Vanquish logo on the back. And what you'll do here, with this pointing up, go ahead and of course grab the door handle that goes to the side with the lock pointing down. And you'll insert that right into here from the outside of the body. Hold that with your thumb. Once you're holding that, you're going to make sure you have this chassis interior lined up. Once you have that lined up, you see how it comes through here, and it's in the body on the outside, and inside this, you're going to take this little Vanquish piece right here, up and down. You're going to place it directly over top of both these. It should all fit together really nice. And then this is where you're going to come in with these tiny little screws right here, the little silver ones that come in, the little 1.5 mil. They're 1/4, you need 4 of those. You're going to put 1 on each end of this door handle, and that's going to help hold this all together right there. You do that on this side and the passenger side, followed by putting those 2 pieces in the end, the M3x10s. Okay, now for our body up here at the front. Once you've painted this, make sure you go ahead and take these off this headlight housings right here, so you don't have to worry about that later. Proceed to install your grille, followed by your light buckets. It's pretty self-explanatory here. It's not that hard. We're just going to go ahead and dig through it. For your light buckets, if you're using these guys, what you're going to want to do here is go ahead and put your LED through the back side. You'll need 2 10mm LEDs for the front if you choose to run those. Once your LED is through, then you're going to proceed to connect this piece to the back just like we did on the rear of the truck. This is going to hold your light in there, and you're going to proceed to connect that with 2 of these little 1/4 inch screws, so little 1/4 screws, screwed right through the back side just like this. Your LED in there holding everything together. Once you have both those assembled, your LED will be in here if you're using those, and then these will be on the back side of your wires pointing out, holding everything together. Then you're going to go ahead and set these to the side. What you want to do now is grab your front grille piece, followed by this little inner grille brace. Make sure your film is pulled out of the way off your body, and then you're going to want to take the front of your grille right here, connect it to this. It slides in just like that. The little curved angled piece is going to go down just to form with the body, and then this piece is, the flat piece, is going to go towards the top. So what you're going to do now is flip this over, and you have this guy right here. Hollow bar right here is going to go pointing upwards away from the hood. When you go and push this on, it should all slide in perfectly together. You're going to take the 4 M3x12 screws they gave you, and you're going to go right through the center of here, and this will hold the grille to this bar, and this is what going to be holds the body to the front of the chassis. Once you have these 4 screws in, your grill is completed on the front as far as being installed and solid to the truck. Now you can proceed to put your light buckets in. These are going to go in just like this. Going to put a screw through, putting your wrench on the end of it, and then going and starting one of these just to get it to hold, because you got 4 to screw in. And once you get that done, then the rest will be easy and you can knock those out. You're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that, and the light bucket's gonna be installed. I'm gonna go ahead and do that and I'll get right back to you. All right, then once you have your light buckets installed, they should look just like this. You should have all these 4 screws in here lined up and everything should be assembled on the front grille of the truck, and you can proceed on to the next step. Now your body assembly is complete. You can go ahead and remove all your film if you like to now, remove all your window masking and all that good stuff, so your pretty interior if you put that in there. You'd also begin to put these little scale accessories on, such as these windshield wipers. There's go right here some sort of way, however you'd like to place those. You could put them like that, it look like they're moving, or just whatever you'd like to do. They don't provide holes for those. All you have to do is just take a small drill bit and drill 2 holes here. Then take one of these little tiny screws on the back side and screw it straight through there, and you'll be perfectly fine with that. Whatever you'd like to do there. You also have a little shifter to put into the interior if you'd like. Looks like you got a little fuel door. You just drill a little small hole here as well. Put this right there, and then go ahead and put one of these screws through the back side to hold it. And that's pretty much going to do it. Now we can go ahead and move on to our wheel assembly, and then we can move on to driving the truck and getting this thing on some trails. All right, in our next bag, bag J, we have a beautiful set of tires and wheels here. They look awesome. They look very aggressive, really cool. They got the Vanquish stuff on them. The wheels seem to be licensed by KMC Wheels, the XD series. These seem to be really cool. They are plastic, but not to worry there. They seem very good quality. We'll go ahead and grab one out. So the wheels are definitely plastic. They're like a composite type, but not to worry there. They are very sturdy, very good. They definitely are not heavy as metal wheels will provide you. But on that note, they do provide you with aluminum rings. The rings are also not that heavy. Together as a set, they're heavy, but individually they are not. So metal wheels probably a good upgrade if you want to add some weight down low. Even though they did put the brass inserts in here, you're still going to want some metal wheels later on, but it's really cool nonetheless. They give some licensed wheels. Really cool looking tires. See how these perform on the trail. I'll go ahead and put these on the truck for the first couple runs, and then we'll probably upgrade to my favorite BFG KM3s. And probably just some method wheels, but these are really cool nonetheless. Great for an RTR, really good. I'm happy they came with metal bead locks. They're licensed. It's just really cool to see all that stuff, so I'm excited to get these on the truck and see. They're definitely not going to be bad at all. All right, let's go ahead and grab one of these and throw it together for you guys. You've never assembled wheels before. It's not that bad. You guys will knock it out of the park if you already got the truck done by now. What you're going to notice is you're going to have your wheel right here. In this case, it's all one piece. Normally on some other wheels, like you're going to have a metal ring on the outside, which would be this guy, and then the inside's going to be a separate piece. So it's really like a 3-piece wheel, but these seem to only be 2-piece. So it's not like a traditional wheel. These are chases I got to assemble for him. But yeah, so you'll normally have that one ring on the outside, the center piece, and then you have the outside bead ring. These right here are a little simpler though, not to worry. So you're just going to grab your wheel and tire. Luckily, it's already came in the wheel. So if it didn't though, you just put this straight in the wheel like that. What you're going to do first is let's go and start with the back. You're going to take and notice how the wheel has a groove cut in it right here, and then see how the tire is made, where it also has a groove cut into it and designed in its pattern. You're going to want to stick that groove in that tire into the groove in the wheel, just like this. Go around there until it's nice and smooth, just like that, and you can tell you're in that groove really well. Hold some pressure from the back side. You're going to take this ring right here for the bead lock. You go ahead and line that up perfectly, just like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our M2 by 12 screws. We're going to put this in straight there into this guy. Go ahead and get a fuse started. I like to go directly across from each other. It just helps line everything up and make sure your tire stays in that bead. If it does pop out in this stage, no worry. You still have all the opportunity to put it back in. So So right here you can see my tire has popped out of my wheel. Not to worry, just gonna work my fingernails around inside right here and go and get it back in that groove. Take a little screwdriver and help you if it gets to where you can't reach it. Just go around the outside just like that till you get it back in the edge. Run it till it's snug. You don't have to worry about it popping out on you again. You can go ahead and assemble all these other ones. You might want to take by hand, go back through, make sure all these are snug to your liking. These don't have to be really tight, but it would be nice for them to be good and snug. You don't want them coming loose. Now once all those guys are in here, you should not have a gap around here. It should be perfectly level around every side. I like to do a star pattern, so I'll just go back and forth and back and forth. So that way I don't tighten one side down and the other side can pop out. Once you get that done, we're going to repeat the same process on the other side. So you go ahead and get this in the groove. Try to keep it in there as much as possible. It helped to push the wheel from the back side, that way you keep pressure on it. Grab one of our rings again. Go ahead and push this down. If your tire doesn't want to go in the groove right here, you just take this and push it back down and get it in the groove. Go ahead and take one of these M2x12s. Now you don't want to run that up all the way. I just want to run it up a little bit just to make sure that side doesn't pop back out. Now I'm going to go around here again, tuck my tire in, make sure it's set in that groove nice and well. Go ahead and start pushing this down. Once I'm sure it's in the groove, I'm going to go ahead and pinch this side, keep it nice and tight. Grab another screw, put it through here, and tighten this down. Once I have these two lined up and I'm sure the bead is set in the tire, I'm going to go ahead and proceed to put these other 4 screws in. Once I'm sure this is all tight, back side and front side look good, you shouldn't be able to pull the tire out. Everything should be nice and snug in there, so when you're going over rocks and all this stuff, the tire can twist and won't come out of the wheel. Now looking right here, they give you 2 different offsets for your wheels. I'm not sure which one I'm going to run or which one to recommend for you guys to run. This one's definitely going to be a farther offset from the chassis, as well as opposed to this one is going to be farther inset towards the chassis. So you're going to have a wider stance with this one, making the truck probably more stable, versus with this guy, you're not going to have as much track width, so it could flip over easier. It's just completely up to you guys what you want to run these. You could run 2 of these wide ones on the front, 2 wide ones on the back, skinny ones all around, or wide ones all around. It's completely up to you guys and your preference on that. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this guy from the back side of this flat piece, and this little ring in the center is going to center it. You're going to take and push that in, come to this side, line the holes up right there. Okay, something to take note of here. This little guy has an indent in the back. You can see that. This little guy has a lip around him. He is going to go inside of this just like that, and then push into the wheel just like this, and you're going to put those screws into there. 6 screws go into that, but my thing is, so this is how you hold the wheel to the truck right here with this guy. Put him up there, take one of these nuts, and you go through there with one of these. That's all fine and good, but the back piece that goes to the wheel that holds everything together screws to this piece. So you're going to have to put the hub on the truck, tighten the hub down, then take the wheel and tire and put those 6 little screws in it. If you want to run the center cap. If you don't want to run this cool little XD cap, you don't have to do that. Let me kind of show you guys what I'm talking about here. So right here we have one that I accidentally already put that thing on, not knowing this. So this guy is going to go on here just like that. Make sure it's on the thing. You're going to put this nut on, and then for this guy, he has nowhere to go at all. So then what you're going to have to do to run these is take this, make sure your screw holes are pointing out to you, take this, put it on the hub, go ahead and put this nut on here that holds the wheel on, tighten that guy down, then take your tire and wheel, put over top of this, just like a real truck, put 6 little screws into that with your hub, and then that thing will go over. Now, I admit, that is super cool. Like, that is really cool. 6 lugs, just like a real truck and all that good stuff. Awesome. Very scale, very cool. But one problem. Do you know how tedious that's going to be to put wheels and tires on this thing or take them off every time? I don't know about that, guys. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. It's awesome. This is just my opinion. I'm not right. I'm not wrong. This is Quaid's opinion, and that's all that it is. It's my opinion. Very cool. You got to put 6 little screws in here to get the center cap on, but very impractical to do that. And then also, for these little things right here, I'm sure you can see it, I don't know the longevity of taking 6 little screws out of the thing over and over again. As you will. I mean, you don't have to, granted, you don't have to do. That was a squatted truck. What the heck? But, now granted, you won't have to take these wheels off all the time to do maintenance and all that stuff to the truck, but you do want to take them off, I don't know, regularly. I do almost every time to clean the truck. So for me, these little guys feel like they're going to wear out very, 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 very fast. Just my 2 cents, just my opinion on this, just voicing my opinion. Yeah, don't know how I feel about that. I'm not going to run the center caps because of this now, because that's kind of silly. I do want to run them for the first time, but I don't because this is kind of silly. Feel like if they were going to do that, that's awesome. Definitely cool deal, but should have been metal. Should have been metal. Just my opinion. So here we are. Wheels are all assembled. As far as I'm going to go, I don't know what route I'm going to take. I'm not sure if for the first initial view if I'm going to run these little guys and do that and put all of those 6 in each wheel, or if I'm just going to do the normal route like I was doing and just putting that on there, bolting it to the truck like a normal RC. I'll probably just go ahead and do this just for the scale appeal of it and just to give you guys my full review and impressions of 110% how the truck goes. But as far as wheels and tires go, they look good. They do, especially once you get the guy sitting in there. Looks really nice, really scale. That's going to be awesome. I did not like how these went together. These are very sticky, and it posed a big problem with trying to get that lip to seat in, and it was not easy. Especially, you can see I didn't even get some of them all the way in, I feel like. Like, you can see that one right there has whatever that is, a little lip right here. Yeah. I mean, it won't come back out, like, at all, but it's not all the way in. And it was getting very time consuming and everything to do this and go back through. So I did not like how these went together at all. I'm not sure if what exactly it was. Not sure if it was me. It was probably me. Then again, maybe it wasn't. I've assembled a lot of these things. I just didn't like how those go together. I felt like it required way too much work and effort to get everything to line up perfect, so you didn't have to worry about the things coming off or the lip getting out of the wheel. I just feel like it shouldn't have been that difficult, and there was a way better way to do that, so it wasn't that difficult. Now, whether I need to go take the tire, wash it in some Dawn soap, and get it not to be sticky, that's another option. I'm not quite sure. But then I do clean my tires really good like that, or with Simple Green, or the Zax Clean Freak. It does make the tire get really sticky and like new again, so not quite sure there. Just something to note. Be very patient with those. I did strip 2 of these screws out, not to where they won't hold, but as you take it and try to tighten it, it just spins now and won't tighten any farther. So be gentle, be patient. Set yourself up for a lot of patience with these guys. Not a fan of how these went together, whether it was my fault or not. My opinion, I'm just not a fan of how these wheels and tires went together. Let me know in the comments if you guys had trouble with these wheels and tires going together and if it was just me. Maybe I'm just weird. So, did not like that. On to the next step. Okay, so we have this guy all assembled, all 6 lugs in there. Then we put our 5mm nut on the back. Everything is nice and tight. All this is in there good. Something I wanted to note on the back of here, if you look at your instruction manual, it says we need an 8mm adapter. I looked through everything in my bags. If you see over here, it's kind of a mess, but I have all my little part things you break away over here, all the spare parts I didn't use, and just all the baggies. Haven't thrown anything away. Trash cans over there. Everything has went right here from this, just in case something happened. But I didn't get an 8mm adapter. Now, whether you're not supposed to get one or you are, I didn't get one. I have an 8mm nut driver right here, followed by an 8mm snap-on socket, and wanted to note that if you grab this piece right here, this doesn't fit inside of there. Neither does a normal 8mm thing. It just doesn't fit. So what that means is, so if you guys are like, oh, okay, well, we just need different tools. Yeah, that's fine, but I feel like that should have been bigger to have something fit in there, let alone like a nut driver made for RC stuff. But reason being is because I'm not even using the long ones, and I can't even get this thing to tighten down. So if I was using a long one, I don't know how I'd get all the way in the back of here to tighten this, because I can't even tighten these short ones. because this guy, as you see, stops right there, won't go up any farther. It's literally the same diameter. And this guy, you have to shove in there and it spreads this open, which is fine, I guess, but you just have to hold this axle and push really hard while putting your elbow on this back tire so it doesn't spin. This is a disaster to do. I had to grab pliers. And it's just a disaster. So another little thing there, if you guys know a better way, please leave a comment below. But I'm also not liking how you got to tighten these things, let alone that I'm using the little 6 lug nuts, or I wasn't. You still have to tighten this guy regardless. She's complete. She's so complete, so ready to go shred, ready to go rip through the trails. I admit, I'm sorry. I did take her out last night. It's a last minute thing. Finally got together with Chase and Lonnie. It's been like 6 or 7 months since we did that. So thankful to be able to get out there with them. It was awesome. It was so much fun. We're going back out again this weekend. I cannot wait. I'm going to put this girl through its paces, really get all of our testing done. I'm going to have a review out for you guys very soon. I apologize for the wait, but I promise it's going to be worth it. I want to thoroughly test this thing, put it through every environment, every obstacle I can physically throw at it that I have to offer in my area. We're going to put it through it, let you guys know what I think about it, and go from there. Right now, I want to go ahead and dive into my final thoughts of the build, what I thought about it, and then we'll go from there. As far as the assembly of everything, it went really smoothly. It went great. There were some hiccups here and there. I believe part of that was my fault for not being very thorough with reading my instruction manual, but also I believe the instruction manual could have been a little more thorough. It left some things out that I felt it needed to be more clear on. Nonetheless, we got the thing put together. It's awesome. Everything looks great. I love the servo placement, the trans placement. I love the motor placement at the bottom, the battery. I chose to put my ESC here. I'll show you guys why if you don't already know why. I think it's going to be really cool. Don't judge my wiring, I know. I literally threw this thing together 30 minutes before I had to hit the chases. We were fighting with daylight because it's getting dark on us. It gets so dark so soon, time change. But nonetheless, got it out there really cool. I opted to put my receiver in here. I feel like that's where it should go. I felt that's what I wanted to do. Whether or not it'll stay there, I'm not quite sure. Probably stay there. We'll see. ESC will probably stay here. We'll see. You can put their ESC here, anywhere. You can probably put it here if you're not running a different servo. Whatever you guys are comfortable with. This is just how I laid the thing out. Running the Hobbywing Axe system. One of these Jeff Bezos BTU servos. Running a 7200 ADC 2-cell and a Futaba receiver with a Futaba 7PX. Stock tires and wheels, all that stock stuff for now. I want to give you guys exactly out of the box what it is like. That's going to do it for the build, guys. This has been a fun build to do. A lot of challenges here and there. Nothing we couldn't get through. Just had to work our way around it. Hope it helped you guys. I really hope you found it entertaining. If you did, please leave me a like. If you didn't, leave me a dislike. If you watched every video in this series, you're awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If you just watched this video or the first one or just one or the other, or maybe you only watched this one, you're awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all the love and support. I appreciate you taking your time out of your day to watch this, and I hope you found it value and entertainment. And I can't wait to do the next one, get some testing done with this thing, get the review out for you guys, and just so excited to drive it the weekend with Chase and Lonnie. Just get out in nature and just have an awesome time. So if you're watching this during the day, during the night, afternoon, morning, midnight, whenever you're watching it, have an awesome time. Thank you so much for watching. See you.